I'm not a rocket scientist, but that's him.
Mm-hmm. Just remember, you're not dealing with a man.
Have you thought about what you're gonna do about your question?
Got no fucking idea.
Right now, I would probably suggest not saying anything more than you already know.
Moment.
Richard. Hello again, Mr. Dugong.
Hello there.
The things you need to pick up are just there in front of the door. I will say this. It is Mr. Dugong's choice whether or not to read them or share them. Otherwise, I would prefer if you kept them to yourself if you are choosing not to share them. Whatever is on those pages should not be repeated out loud. You may read them, and that is it.
No strings attached?
None at all.
This is just a gift. He doesn't have to do anything with them.
He is free to do as he pleases, so long as he does not read them out loud. If he decides to share them around, that is his choice.
I want to clarify something. You do not want me to read them out loud, but it is my choice to share them.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please clarify, as that does contradict itself?
You are free to give other people those pages. Just do not read them aloud. That's it.
Done.
You both are lingering. I would imagine you have questions.
Just making sure there's nothing else.
There is not.
I don't have any questions.
I can imagine otherwise, but I can also imagine that you both are playing it very careful.
You said Flop was protected. Why?
The old wolf cashed in a favor from long ago and asked that Mr. Dugong here be left unbothered. And so it shall be.
Wait. Flop, why don't you head back to the car?
You gonna be okay?
Yeah.
You take care, Mr. Bones.
They are not mine. In fact, I have put them out several times. There's a woman who does rituals here. Keep lighting them.
I don't know.
Then I'd say.
You heard him.
Fair enough.
I think to be as safe as possible, there's no chance I'm going to speak a single word of what I just read. And I think that for what you have, you too should not speak a single word of what you've read. Is that fair? Did you say something?
I didn't say anything.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm in a tough spot, mate.
I don't disagree.
Because listen, 5 years was a long time for me, and different from your dad, but I dealt with a lot of shit, and I found peace with a lot of things that he didn't, and I found peace with everything that happened with that guy back there. But I never thought it would get to this. This being sympathy. And I don't know what to do with that. You okay?
Yeah. I was rereading.
Do you remember that stuff? Whatever it is.
To keep it as vague as humanly possible, there are words in what I wrote, or I guess read, excuse me, that I recognize. How many pages did you say were out there?
15.
Okay.
Do you think you have? Or do you think yours are different?
I know the answer. But to take what he said literal, I am going to say nothing. I want to take no chances. God, what mess did we get involved in
Tell me about it.
all these years ago? Could he be telling the truth? Say that again.
You know my honest opinion on that? My honest opinion is I think he's absolutely telling the truth about everything. That conversation changed. Oh, it changed everything.
What do you mean? Your conversation or our conversation?
My conversation with Norman.
Is this something you can share,
Listen,
or would you rather keep
I
it?
think so. I don't know how much I'm going to share with other people, but
I don't plan on speaking to anybody. I want
listen, I
nothing
don't
to do
know
with this. I just want to make sure
how
that you're
much you know
safe.
about. I know. Norman Bones is a serial killer. At 9 years back, he assaulted and killed a lot of people. He is not a good person. Don't get me wrong. That being said, the things that I have read in the pages I have, he's a very troubled man. He was a very troubled man. And I called him out on what I think he's doing with these notes because this didn't fit what what he normally does. So 5 years ago, Norman would play games. The deals he would make were games to him, entertainment. Because he wouldn't particularly care about, the outcome all the time. He'd just care that people would be suffering, right? Who's suffering with these notes? Nobody. That makes sense. There's no winners, no losers. It's just people getting together and putting notes together, making a book, right? That don't make sense,
He has an
right?
outcome. There's an end goal, but the question is, what's the
Yeah.
end goal?
And I called him out on what that angle was, and he confirmed it. He's saying goodbye. His time is up. Whatever, however that works, however that, out there in the abyss of nothingness, where there is no left and right and up and down, however that works, his time has come. And I told him, I said, there's easier ways to say goodbye. And he said, yeah, you're probably right. He's given these notes to everybody who was involved and has been involved. I think, way to explain how he's got to where he is and why he's got to where he is. And that's why I'm a little confused because I feel sorry for him. Because I think his whole life he's been alone, doesn't have a, never had a place. That's why he did the things he did. And in a way, the what he is now, like, that's his place, that's his home. But now it's been taken away from him, and he's leaving it. And that, I don't know why, but I feel bad for him.
I understand where you're coming from. I still do have questions, though. Specifically, he's saying goodbye. Why now?
I'll tell you why. He didn't say nothing about me telling you anything about my pages.
I'm gonna hold you off because I trust you. And even though he didn't make that stipulation, I would rather us play this as safe as humanly possible.
Okay. Yeah, I'd rather you. Okay, listen. I don't know what to do, man.
I trust you, but you have strong reason that he's saying goodbye, and you think that there's an encompassing reason as to why he's saying goodbye.
Yeah, but that's the issue. That's making me want to. That's making me believe that there is no. That he's not actually doing this with a harmful outcome. Like, do I believe that he would still play games on the side and cause people torment? Sure. Do I think that's not there for him anymore? Like, do I think that he's a good person? Absolutely not. But do I think this might be his way, his childish, way of saying goodbye to the people that he's maybe the only people he's spoken to since he's died? Yeah, I think that might be the case. But do I think he has it out for those people and he's gonna like murder them at the end of it? That's the issue, is I don't. And like, I'm worried that maybe I'm being tricked. Like, maybe, I don't know. This is what I'm worried about. Is part of me wants to now go and talk to Jackie and give my pages over. And
Who is most likely? Who is most likely to give up their pages to somebody? Who is most likely to be the one to have the original copy of every page?
The original? What do you mean?
There's 15 of them, right?
Yeah.
People are sharing what they have on their notes. I was given maybe a different circumstance, and that's okay. But what does that mean? What if I gave up my notes? You gave up your notes? In this situation, let's just pretend it's to Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
What if everybody gave their notes to Jackie? What does that mean? What if they... Well, let me rephrase. What if Jackie recreated the book?
Okay. You're asking what happens then?
Yeah. you think there's a reason I was picked for these pages outside of, I guess, being a victim? Or do you think that the pages that he gave me related in some way? Do you feel like your pages relate to you in some way?
Do I feel like they relate to me? Not particularly. Do I mean, in a broad sense, sure, but only because I've been involved. But specifically to me, no.
Okay.
I feel like yours do, which make them. I think yours are personal. I'm not gonna dig, but I think yours are personal to you. So that makes me think they're outside of the scope of what mine are and what I imagine Jackie's is. But you've just thought
I'm
like,
yeah, I'm spitting a hypothetical. I don't want to sidetrack too
no, no,
much.
no. You've made me think about something. Is
Hmm.
if Norman's saying goodbye, that means somebody else that's got to be taking his place. That's just a fact. But does that mean that whoever has the journal, whoever puts all the pages together, is that what happens to that person,
Are we
or is
certain
that?
that someone takes his place?
I think nobody's certain about any of this stuff. No, but my theory 5 years ago was going off what Norman had told us,
You'll have
and
to
just
fill me in on that if you wish to. I'm gonna probably
no, I'm
recommend
gonna
not.
keep it simple, but the idea is that death needs a host, a body, if you will. Obviously, Norman, his bones are at the bottom of the ocean, but you know what I mean. There needs to be a person, someone's soul, for death to be death's avatar. Norman is currently that, and became that the day he died 9 years ago in Bolingbrook. So maybe, as much as it's a goodbye,
It sounds like a goodbye, but a goodbye for now.
oh God, no. Have you seen Lost?
The show?
Yeah.
Not fully through, but pieces. I was not a what some may call a religious watcher.
So you didn't get it like the last seasons?
Mm-mm.
How mad would you be if I spoiled it? It's an old show, right?
You can't be serious. Yes, you can. Yes.
There was in Lost. There was Jacob, and there was the other guy whose name I can't remember. But essentially, there was the oh no, there was Jacob and there was the Man in Black. There were these two kind of metaphorical entities. There was the light and the dark. Norman is the Man in Black. Okay, he's death, right? Jacob is life. Just think of it like that: yin and yang. Now,
Okay.
what ended up happening is it was revealed in the later seasons that Jacob, life, wanted to find a replacement. And so, do you remember the numbers from the earlier seasons? You remember all the special numbers and all that kind of shit? Basically,
Vaguely, very vaguely, but
all the passengers on the plane all the people that crashed on flight 813 or 815, everybody that crashed on the plane, the whole premise of the show were candidates. They were candidates to become Jacob's replacement. Yeah? Are you following me?
Yeah, I'm following.
What I'm worried about now is what about if Norman is giving pages to everyone he's considering candidates as his replacement?
Well, if we're gonna be honest for a second, not only does that make a lot of sense, but I'm looking for a good reason right now not to take this book and throw it in this body of water. Because that would make a lot of sense. Think about this for a minute. I want you to really think about this. This guy is, from what I understand, I guess, an entity. I'm not talking to a person.
Correct.
He feeds on what?
That's a difficult question to answer. Death? I don't know what death feeds on. I don't think death itself feeds on anything. But you have to think that Norman Bones is currently death. What Norman feeds on is suffering. Norman likes when people suffer. That's what he likes. That's why he makes deals.
Okay. So let's dig further. He likes when people suffer. So he's going to people who have suffered. What did he do for the 5 years that we were all forced to vacate off of this island? Because if his satisfaction is others suffering, how did he survive 5 years on a barren island?
I don't think he's stuck here. That's the thing. When he's here, he's at the lighthouse. But he's not stuck here. He can... I reckon he was out somewhere else.
What the fuck is
Going
this?
on a bloody world trip. Wouldn't surprise me.
So, to, I guess, re-clarify, you don't think that he is... You don't think he's... I don't want to use the word exclusive. But you don't think that... I mean...
No, because I don't think people only die in Los Santos. He's got a big job. He's got a big job.
But his...
I just think that he favors this place.
His
because
home
this
is
where he...
here?
Yeah, because this is where he lived when he was alive. This is where this was his hunting ground.
No, that's fair. Okay. That's fair. I'm
So like this is his favorite place. Like he like I won't go into detail, but he mentions it in his these pages because the people of Los Santos are they're very particular in the way they act, right? They're very self-centered, and so I think he gets a lot of joy out of that because it's very easy for them to make deals, and he gets a lot of joy out of that and a lot of suffering, and I think you get the point.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think your theory is enough for me to not want these pages anymore. Think about it. Who really wants to put the book together? Somebody who wants answers, somebody who's determined, somebody who's aggressively going to want to look and seek the truth, seek what they want, seek what he wants. And the way that I see it is if you give up what has been given to you, you are essentially the way that I see it is you're essentially saying that you're not a candidate.
First of all, I'm gonna ask you. I'm not gonna dig in, but does your book have? So yours is a book.
Mine's not a
No,
book.
yours isn't. No, yours is pages.
2 pages.
Your pages have numbers on. Okay. Uh, hmm. And is it numbers of, like mine, for example? And you can nod if this is similar to yours, but mine, for example, are like 13, page 13 of 15. Are yours also of 15 now?
I'm not going to answer that. But I will say this. Based on what you know, and based on what I know, what do you think?
I don't think yours are. Mainly because yours are personal, and
But
I can't.
you are also inferring that. But it's very difficult because I don't want to answer this. And I don't want to talk about what's on my pages because I don't want to give him a reason to think I'm going against what he is requested.
No, I get you. I don't know. Yeah, I get it. All right, listen, circling back. If I'm right about who he's giving pages to and that kind of thing, Norman said this was back when we were doing way too much digging into him and everything. He said that the day he died, he walked into a room with death and he came out alone. Meaning that he chose to become death. So I don't think this is something you can just get thrown into. Something you have to willingly step into. Something you have to want. I don't think someone's going to put all the pages together. The book's going to open up and consume them, and they're going to look like Norman Bones and step out their lighthouse. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's got to be someone who's willing. Now, who that's gonna be, that's I don't know. But that's assuming that I'm even right.
I just don't want the pages. I don't want them. I've put them in a book so I could read them. Is there an easy way for me to rip these out? Do you know?
Just rip them out. Rip them out.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Do you think I should give these to somebody?
It's an interesting question. If you don't want them, give them to me. I'm still conflicted, but it's difficult because I keep thinking, and I was stupid, but I keep imagining if I went to the lighthouse and if I was talking to you, if you were what Norman Bones is, or Matt, or Cody, or anybody, and I had the opportunity to help you say goodbye and move on, I'd do it, no matter what you'd done. Like, as much as he's made mistakes, he's still a person who is trapped between being alive and being at peace. So I kind of want to help him move on. And if these pages and saying goodbye is part of that, I don't know.
I don't think you should feed into his emotional side.